Hi, my name is Richard Muse.
And my name is Dwayne Squires.
And we're partners at Property Result. Today I want to talk about the lease options and when is a deal not a deal or no deal. And just want to give you an example of one we came across in Hartlepool, an investor actually. And this investor was pretty much of a novice, and he bought some properties outright, and he'd come across some lease option deals that had been offered to him, and they were advertised as generating great cash flow. And being the novice that he was at the time, didn't hardly do any due diligence and thought, oh yes, this is going to be great, I'm going to pull the cash in, and just went out and bought them. And that was, he thought, yeah, he was boasting about it. There was about 6 or 7, I think, he bought actual properties. It turned out that somebody, the guy that had sold him the deals, had been just getting rundown properties, putting some tenants in, and that was it. And as soon as this guy took them over, the tenants disappeared. The properties got the boilers took out. There was all sorts of horror stories, and he ended up losing about £6,000 in rent in Universal Credit. So he had to start again. He had to spend money on refurbishment. He had to have a proper agent in place and get them back into cash flow. So that was a real horror story. That was not a deal. It was not a deal. The next example I'm going to give you is one in Durham, in County Durham, in Ferry Hill actually. And this was where an individual buyer down London bought a lease option. And he said, look, I fully understand how they work. I've done all my due diligence and everything. I know how they work, and it's great cash flow. And it turned out he hadn't done his due diligence. He was a novice, and he'd only bought this one. He hadn't even viewed the property, which again was a big mistake. And as time went on, after 2 or 3 months, there was repairs to do. He hadn't budgeted for that. So he had a real problem, a cash flow problem. But what annoyed me a lot about this, he expected that he was going to get a full cash flow from day one, and nothing else would happen. There would be no repairs. Well, I'm sorry, that's not the reality of investing in property, whether it's a lease option or whatever, if you buy them outright. That's not how it works. So this was a bit of a horror, and he ended up handing the keys back, and the option agreement was void, but the actual owner of the property that gave the option agreement is now taken up to court. So that's another horror story.
So there seems to be some really important lessons there, but it all seemed to be around doing your due diligence. So due diligence, like doing your research online, making sure you view the property to see what conditions needed, but also taking a step back and making sure you're budgeting correctly.
Yeah,
so budgeting for future expenses. So in investing in property, it's like with any endeavour, you need to be maintaining that asset, be it an asset in property or an asset elsewhere, as for example, a business. An asset will require ongoing maintenance, costings to make sure that property is always got strong demand and it appeals to the market that it's targeting. That's really good stories, Richard, really good stories. Thank you for watching that video. If you're thinking of investing in property, have you considered investing in North East? If you have or you haven't, why not check out the full video playlist we created, which gives you the full deep dive in investing in property in the North East. Check it out.